The new Tesla Model 3 Standard. It's massively discounted in price compared to the existing version. This is made in China. We already have the prices for Europe. Soon we should get prices for Australia. In Australia, it's going to be less than 50,000 Australian dollars. I mean, I think maybe even 45,000 Australian dollars. In Europe, it's 37,000 euros, which sounds expensive, but that means it's 8,000 euros cheaper, I should say. That's 9,000 US dollars cheaper than the existing Tesla Model 3. That difference is massive. Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. Now, today we're going to look into a fascinating move from Tesla that's going to shake up the European car market. Tesla has been struggling in Europe this year. Make no mistake about it. It is true. Norway has been dominating Norway, but outside of Norway, it's been a struggle. Tesla has just quietly dropped a new, much cheaper version of the Model 3 Standard in Germany. It comes with some surprising changes. You would think for a massive 20% price cut, it would be missing out on a lot of stuff, but actually I think it's not. The Model 3 has been discounted by 8,000 euros. That's a 20% price cut on the next trim up. In Germany, this new entry-level Model 3 Standard starts at just 36,990 euros. Convert that, and we're looking at around 40,000 US dollars or around 60,000 Australian dollars. But the truth is that cars are much cheaper in Australia than they are in Germany. And what the situation here is as well, Europe, right? Tesla has to pay a 10% tariff on the cars they send to Europe, a 10% tariff that all manufacturers have to pay. Plus, there's other charges and costs that basically that companies have to pay in Europe that you don't have to pay in Australia. So this will be cheaper in Australia. As with all things Tesla, a cheaper price though does mean a few subtractions. Of course, some of these are kind of bizarre. Let's break down the difference between this new, more affordable Model 3 Standard and the current premium versions. Because the Model 3 Standard is different. The one that's made in China, this one, it's different to the one made in the United States. It's better, actually. First off, the price. As I said, 37,000 euros or 36,990 in Germany. The next trim up, the premium, is 45,000 euros. So that's a big saving. Why is it cheaper? Several reasons. One, performance and range. The Standard takes 6.2 seconds to go from 0 to 100. That's 0 to 62 miles an hour. The Premium does it in 5.2 seconds. To be honest, not much of a difference. The range is also cut. The Premium gets a WLTP range figure of 750 kilometers or 466 miles. The new Standard version has about 200 kilometers less range. It's rated at 520 kilometers WLTP. Now, 520 kilometers WLTP is still more than enough range for most people. Number two, the infotainment mystery. There is an FM radio. Now, this is the weird one. The US version of the Model 3 Standard doesn't have an FM radio. The European version does. Yep, an FM radio in a 2025 Tesla. Apparently, they can save $50 to $70 by removing it in the US. But yeah, I mean, the European car or the Chinese-made version does get a radio. Gone are the alloy wheels. So apparently you get 18-inch steel wheels. I'm not 100% sure this is true, but that's what people are saying. 18-inch steel wheels with plastic hubcaps. Really not a big deal though. I don't think it actually matters. Inside, the ambient lighting, rear touchscreen, electrically adjustable steering column, and heated rear seats, they're gone. Personally, I don't think the rear touchscreen is necessary. The electrical adjustable steering column is a negative. That's an actual, getting rid of that is an upgrade. Guys, it's such a pain in the butt to get into a car and try to use the electrical adjustable steering columns. It's so much, journalists love it when they can get into a car and it has a manually adjustable steering column. It is the best, so much better than the electric. Why would you electrify that? It's pointless. Anyway, the heated rear seats, getting rid of those, personally, I couldn't care less, but I'm sure that some people in Europe would prefer to have those for sure. The seats themselves switch from a more premium material to a simple cloth material. There is probably the one change here that I'd prefer, for me personally, I prefer not to have this change. Driving dynamics. The Standard Model 3 makes do with basic passive shock absorbers. The Premium gets the more sophisticated frequency-dependent shocks, which deliver a smoother ride. So the ride will be a bit firmer in the new standard version. So yeah, ultimately you lose a bit of comfort, you lose a bit of speed, a bit of range, and a bit of tech. Not a whole lot though. I think it's still going to be quite a good car. Here's the thing though. I mean, it actually retains the panoramic glass roof. Unlike the Model Y standard in the US, where Tesla covers over the glass roof to remind you you cheaped out, the Model 3 gets the glass roof. Thankfully in Europe, I mean, for Tesla anyway, there's really not a lot of electric cars at this price point, 38,000 euros, that are as good as this car. So it should sell well for Tesla, I think. Why is this car going to be important for Australia? Because it will come. Well, for one, this new cheaper Model 3 Standard is coming from Tesla's Shanghai factory, and that's where our Model 3 and Model Y comes from. All of our cars from Tesla come from. So the Model Y Standard, it's already available in Europe across numerous countries, priced at around £41,000 in the UK. And we've already got prices for it in the Netherlands and various countries around Europe. It's all pretty similar, all around approximately around 37 to 38,000 euros across Europe. It's highly likely that the Model 3 Standard will cost around 50,000 Australian dollars, or maybe just under in Australia. So this is a crucial strategic move for Tesla. They're trying, guys, to boost their flagging sales, in Europe particularly, by getting a truly budget-friendly EV into the market, especially in Europe where Chinese competition is actually becoming quite fierce. But is it worth it? What do you guys think? Is the 8,000 euro saving, that's about 13,000 Australian dollars, or about 9,000 US, is it worth it for a car with less range, slower acceleration, not much, but a little bit slower, a firmer ride, and a more basic interior? For many, that price point might be too good to pass up, making it accessible to a whole new segment of buyers. And remember, this car will qualify for incentives in Germany because it's going to be in that affordable price point that'll make it qualify. So people in Germany will probably end up getting this for about 34 to 35,000 euros if they qualify, and a lot of Germans will. There's a $5 billion incentive package coming. Guys, what do you think? Is this new cheaper Tesla Model Y Standard, well, is it actually a brilliant move to drive EV adoption? Or have they cut potentially too many corners? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching.